Okay, we're live. All right.
It's always good to be live.
Yeah, it's hard to do the show from the other side. Doesn't come through as well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the imho.love show. I'm Lou Angelwolf. This is Mike Murburg. We're here every Wednesday night at 7:30. IMHO is, in my humble opinion, .love, because love is the beginning and love is the end of everything.
And love is magic.
Love is magic. It's an amazing thing. Can everybody hear us okay? Am I all plugged in all right? Can you hear me okay? I got to do this. I got to go check and see. Because that little bulb was supposed to be on. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's see.
Hola.
Okay. I guess everything's okay. All right, that's from there. Okay, this thing is supposed to be brighter than this, but
Is it really red? Yeah.
no, it's not. It's actually, I don't. Well, hopefully this is picking up. If it's not, hopefully the mic on the phone is strong enough to pick it up.
Up your amplitude.
So to speak. Yeah, it'll pick it up ambiently, and then hopefully this one's feeding it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the technical difficulties. That's my fault. Well, imho.love show, like I said, in my humble opinion, .love. We're here every week, and just kind of, these last several weeks have been kind of about the same thing.
I was just thinking, remember we had Celia Hatch on for her first big radio show, and it didn't pick her up. So
I know.
It was like the greatest witness in the world. And here you go, you got no connection from a radio station.
I know.
It's like, holy Christ.
Yeah, back when we were on that station over in Clearwater. So we're kind of doing it on our own now, and I'm sorry if this isn't as premium as it usually is. It's probably my fault from not charging the thing correctly. But anyway.
That means battery charging. I mean, nobody's giving you money.
Yeah, I know. Well, ladies, here it is, the 20th day of May, and 2020, and we're well into this isolation, safer at home, lockdown, quarantine thing, and it's got to be the absolute thing on everybody's mind. And part of the reason that it is because it's designed that way. They're not going to let you forget what you're involved in right here. Every once in a while, I think they just had all these Facebook avatar things come out, and everybody's making little pictures of themselves. It's kind of like a cookie. Here's a cookie. Here, entertain yourself for a couple minutes.
And just wait, we're going to get you the kitty. Just stay here.
You're going to get a kitty for your birthday. But I mean, there's some people stressing out. And Mike, talk for a minute. I'm going to make sure that we got sound over there, okay?
Okay. Well, I'm looking up HR 6088 right now, so
okay.
That's what I do when I'm.
Can you guys hear the show okay?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Okay. Well, apparently, because there's nobody going.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. Of course, I don't know where that's at on this.
Okay.
You know, I anyway. That's life. But like I was saying before, yeah. Can you find the show on your phone?
I was looking at
the HR.
HR 6088.
Okay.
They're right. Yeah, it began January 17th, 2019.
Yeah, that new bill that they're signing and moving through the House and Congress.
Or Lou
yeah, Lou Angelwolf on Facebook is probably the best way.
We'll do that.
We miss you, Kathy McGuire. Yeah, this is the bill that they just. There, is that us?
Yeah, I think so.
Are we doing it?
Yeah. Hey, okay. I got no shit tonight.
All right, what are the... Oh, good. Yeah, I never got to see you two wrestle. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, it sounds okay.
We're good.
All right, very good.
See, we don't need this.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about. I mean, when I'm watching somebody's podcast, I can't stand the technical crap, and it makes me feel bad. I don't want it to be that way, and it won't be again. Again, we learn, we progress, we move on. But like we were saying, that HR 688, the gripping fact of it, it was established. I'm sure it's been edited 100 times, but it was established in January of 2019, before the first old lady sneezed in Manhattan. So this thing, the construct of this thing, I don't know, do they have like giant bills just sitting around?
It was actually introduced on January 17th, 2019. That means they wrote it up in 2018.
Right.
So they were on...
These things take a while to write up.
These guys were on this 2 years before it got hatched.
Wow, man. It's very, very suspicious. And I know... You know, the country is, we're getting more and more divided. Now you've got another division. You've got blue states, red states, okay? Then you got mask wearers and no mask wearers. You got vaxxers and anti-vaxxers. I mean, we're really dividing ourselves.
And you can't talk about it.
Right. Yeah, if your comments go away from the narrative, you get edited or deleted or whatever. And if you're out there and you're feeling real confused and you don't really quite know what to make of all this, join the club. It's what's happening is the powers that be, they're watching everything we do, including this video cast right here. They're watching everything we do. They have a digital record of everything that happens.
And it all goes through the filter.
It goes through the filter, and what is permissible, and what doesn't make it gets discarded. And the fact checkers are comical unto themselves, as we found out that Snopes was like a completely bogus scenario.
Yeah, it's like a guy sitting in his living room doing coke with his girlfriend.
Right.
Doing research.
Yeah, they ran an adult, some kind of adult site too, you know. But they go, hey, well, here's some money. So yeah, so anytime you fact check me with a Snopes, believe me, I'm just going to smirk and not say anything. But what we got here, and the name of this show is Post-Traumatic Press Disorder. Every day, the press, the media, the television especially, is bombarding us with bad news scenarios, bad case scenarios, and they're really keeping a lot of people off balance. Now, to compound that problem, if you're one of the folks that is really going broke over this thing, and that $1,200 that the government sent you isn't holding you over very well, the constant bombardment of these kind of messages really knock you off center, and it makes you weak. The stress, it takes away from your sleep. The sleep takes away from your health. The lack of sleep takes away from your health. And yeah, there probably could be a second wave of this because we're all tired. We're all beat to death.
There has to be a second wave because the upper 1% of 1% has the opportunity, and they haven't got enough money out of this yet.
Yeah, apparently, and it's. I spoke with my buddy Wes the other day. Wes is a pretty sharp stockbroker dude, and I go, I said this could totally just be Vanguard and BlackRock draining some water out of their portfolios. It really could be something that absolutely simple. And there's a guy I'm going to mention, or actually there's two scenarios that this isn't anything new. This isn't an internet conspiracy theory. This is old news, and this has been directed out of off of the throne for hundreds of years, and it just constantly is this ever blossoming, field of change. It's always changing, but it's always the same story headed for the same verdict. There's two guys we're going to talk about tonight, or two entities. One is the Tavistock Institute. This is a fantastic book. This is Social Engineering the Masses. This is called the Tavistock Institute. Look it up and go past Wikipedia and try to find some other, because Wikipedia is going to tell you the narrative. But find out more about these people. They have been controlling your life for a very, very long time. And same with Edward Bernays, who was Sigmund Freud's nephew. He's been manipulating you for a very, very long time as well. Now, this is the newest wave. This is the most advanced way that they've come after us in a while. And what it reminds me? I'm like, God, there's just so many dots out there, so please hang with me. I'll try to keep them within connectability. There was a movie came out a long time ago with Eddie Murphy. It was Trading Places. You remember that?
Loved it.
It was a great film, fantastic film. But if you look at the premise of that film, you draw back, Eddie Murphy was really funny and he was great. And what you doing putting your coals out on my rug?
Yeah.
I love that. The whole thing was great.
Yeah, but Mortimer.
If you look at that movie, it was the two brothers, Mortimer, and I forget what the other one's name was.
I don't know, but he came back to life in that movie about the ETs being built in St. Petersburg.
That was that one.
Getting old.
Yeah, we had holes in our memory.
Yeah.
But Mortimer and his brother, they did this whole scientific experiment by picking up Eddie Murphy, who was a homeless guy living on the street, hustling for every dollar that he got.
Greatest line. I got legs! I got legs!
And then they turned him in, they gave him wealth, and he moved on up the ladder, and they took Dan Aykroyd's character, Louis, I believe his name was, and they took all of his money away. And at the end of the movie, the two brothers are sitting there. He goes, "Well, Mortimer, you were right," or whatever. And the guy peels off $1 and hands it to his brother or his whatever the relationship was there. Randolph. Mortimer and Randolph. This could so much be a Mortimer and Randolph scenario, just so high up the pyramid, you would never even know where to look for it. This really could be a barroom bet of how we will react. There's probably a betting line up there somewhere of how we're going to react.
Yeah, well, they bought Congress after the movie.
Right. Yeah. So with that in mind, knowing that we constantly go through these cycles, we're constantly manipulated by the lights on TV, the lights on the internet, across your phone, everywhere you go, everything you do, there is this societal input of people that want you to believe and feel a certain way. And like I mentioned before, there was a guy named Edward Bernays, Bernays, if you want to look it up. He was a public relations guy, as well as being the nephew of Sigmund Freud. And he loved his uncle, and they talked and they chatted and they walked through the gardens and they had all kinds of idea exchanges and all kinds of think sessions and all this other stuff. Well, Bernays took this took the knowledge from his uncle about the psychological condition of people, and if you've studied some Freud psychology, you'll see how it's attached to your intimate, your sexuality, your relations to your mother, your father, those, and that deep stuff. And he exposed he shared all this with his nephew, and the nephew, Edward Bernays, took these ideas and took them to market. He is the guy. If you're on my Lou Angelwolf page on Facebook, my picture up on top there, my banner, is of bacon and eggs. And the reason we love bacon and eggs so much is because of Edward Bernays. Bacon and eggs was not a popular breakfast thing, but the Beech-Nut Company, famous for bubblegum, needed to boost their pork and bacon sales. So they found Edward Bernays, and he created this ad campaign of bacon and eggs. And so Beech-Nut, and when they started mentioning it and it got some play, it started landing on everybody's menu. The fact that it was constantly being mentioned and advertised, that was Bernays' baby. And the other thing that he did too was in the late teens. He was one of the leading propagators for women smoking. Mm-hmm. He's the one that got women to start smoking. And the way he did that it was 1917, I think, 1916. There was a parade in New York City, and he had a whole bunch of upward-looking, smartly dressed women walking in the parade, okay? And it got a huge news coverage, and that was their little torches of freedom.
Yeah, there you go.
The torches of freedom were their cigarettes. And this was all derived from Bernays studying with his uncle, Sigmund Freud, who had deducted that men smoked cigarettes because it was a penile type reflection. It was another penis that they could exhibit. They put it in their mouth and they puffed on it, and it made them look tough with their extra penis. And when it was a psychologist named A.A. Brill who backed all this up. And what it did is because women were very frowned upon about smoking, and not many women smoked at the time. But when they got these torches of freedom and their own little penis to tug on during the day, the number of smoking women jumped over the years, and now, I mean, I know a lot of girls that smoke cigarettes. I really do.
I just answered the age-old question for myself.
What was that?
Is there a relationship between the Bernays sauce and the Bernays who has put us in the sauce?
That's a great question.
But
what's the answer?
The answer is no.
No.
No. Yeah.
Spelled differently?
No. It was just invented by a guy.
Another guy named Bernays?
Yeah, another guy. Actually, it was invented by a Jules Colette at the Paris restaurant Le Pavillon for Henry IV.
Ah.
So yeah, so
okay.
You know, so all those people out there going, yeah, I wonder who made that.
Who made that Bernays sauce?
It's like, I mean, you know, there was a story that he had reduced it to make hollandaise.
Yeah. Little sauce history, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Bad joke.
It's okay.
Get letters from chefs.
But if my friend Faye is watching, Faye, we really apologize. And it actually is it is a different spelling.
Yeah. Okay.
Bernays sauce, I believe, is Bernaisse, and Edward Bernays is Bernays. So I think, yeah. And my friend James Lee Reeves, who grew up on a mayonnaise farm, he would know. So anyway,
Kid along get a block.
So just know that this confusion that you're feeling is totally normal, because it's happening to you, it's happening to me, it's happening to Mike. and it's happening to all kinds of people. And the more you expose yourself to the television, it's going to happen to you even more, because they've got all the catchphrases coming at you now. We're in this together. Stay safe. Stay home. You're getting this drilled into your head. And Mike and I have done a couple shows about the twisting of phraseologies over the years. You know, like George Carlin does a brilliant bit about it. How, like, when soldiers came home from World War II, they were shell shocked, and then they toned down that it sounded so harsh. My God, you're shell shocked. You poor thing. There were shells going off around you. Oh man. And now they call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and that's the name of our show tonight. Almost post-traumatic press disorder, because that's what we're going through now. Is the press is really beating the snot out of us every day, and the funny thing about this press is it's owned by the same 6 companies, literally funnel all the information that you see every day. And these are all checkable facts. This isn't anything that you gotta know a secret password to and tip somebody at the gate of the rabbit hole. This is easily accessible stuff. Now, it's not gonna be on the first page, but it might be on the 3rd page. So don't feel bad, because it's happening to all of us. But the one thing that you can do is decrease your commercial television time. Just, find something else to do. There's a lot of great books to read. This Tavistock book would be a great one. You really want to lay some format for yourself, regardless whether you think everything is hunky dory. You need to know some of the facts, and the author of this is Daniel Estulin. So if you want to see there's the cover, Daniel Estulin. He also wrote books about the Bilderbergers, and this is all real stuff. But what happens is a lot of people don't have time for it. They're too busy doing everything else, which is also part of the Bernays psychology of mind control.
Yeah, let me interject here. I'm probably
Please.
doing the math badly, but in this the bill we were talking about, 6088, that got turned into law.
Did that make it to law?
Well, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It is the law. It's what we've been dealing with the $3 trillion that has been borrowed from the Fed to fund this program that was invented in 2018,
right,
and introduced in 2019. So for all the working stiffs in America who got $1,200, okay, that was $156 billion, okay?
Uh-huh.
So they were really happy to get that money.
Yeah.
But they just paid $3 trillion for something that is only worth $186 billion to them.
Whew. That's a good return on your money.
Yeah, if you're getting it, and, I mean,
If you're a bad guy.
This is not even into the $1 trillion zone.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they got totally screwed. I mean, look at the people that got the money. I mean, it's gotten so bad that the president has got to ask them to return it because what they did was so egregious.
Yeah.
Planned Parenthood, not that I go right or left, but yeah, It's not a small business. It's not the mom and pop we're thinking about of what it sounded like to us. But there again, you got the fine print, and guess what? The big guys got the $3 trillion, and the little guys got pennies on the dollar.
It's starting out at $3 trillion, could expand to $6 trillion.
Yeah, they're going to double it. But
well, the other thing too, Mike, is there's so much stuff for them to buy right now, and that money, and in that there will be black ops money. There will be all kinds of there's going to be more pork there than in the entire state of Iowa, and everybody got their little favors done, and everybody got. But here's the thing: they're printing this money with no backing. It literally, I mean, talk about something that is really, really headed for a crash. I mean, I don't know how much, you know, the backs of the American workers, how much longer can we carry this on? And especially with how many unemployment claims?
There's 36 million.
36 million
Yeah,
unemployment claims.
I think it only got up to like 25 during the Great Depression.
Yeah, well, there's more people now too, so in scale, I guess you're right. So, and now, and this is a little psychology that in New York City, they're hiring rats to spy on other people about their not keeping their social distancing and stuff like that.
Yeah, what did they call that under Hitler?
I don't know if they called it under Hitler. This is called contact tracing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So they don't call them rats anymore, huh?
I do. You rat somebody out because they're 3 feet too close to somebody else. That's bad.
I know. It's insane.
But now there's going to be a lot of people from that type of workforce out of work. So they're going to go around snitching on people because that's their job. Now, I don't know whether Cuomo's going to get it off the ground or not. I don't know whether it's actually going to happen or not. But they said that there was a petition or I don't know how they start that, but 17,000 jobs for watching contact tracing. And the big thing with me is I love words. Mike is an English. You're an English major?
No, history major.
History major.
Yeah, the gay guy went to English.
But your dad was an English teacher.
He's English teacher.
Yeah, so you have such a wonderful vocabulary. I always like talking to you. Like right now, the coronavirus, if you look in a medical dictionary, the word coronavirus equals or means the common cold. It does. Look it up. I'm not making it up. And this isn't any slanted propaganda. I looked in a 1989 medical journal, and there it was, coronavirus, the common cold. Can you imagine how differently the news stories would read if they went, well, this afternoon there were 412 new cases of the common cold?
Yeah.
How much traction would that get?
COVID-19's got some great people handling its press.
Well, yes, and the COVID-19, which even has like a harsh little sound to it, a COVID, and
covert.
It's very close to the word covert. Somebody said it was a certificate of vaccination, ID. Somebody said that's the acronym for it. I didn't check that out. I didn't put a scope on it. It could be. It fits.
No, it's not.
Coronavirus, but that doesn't make sense either. Maybe it's a couple other things. Who cares what the acronym is?
There's an official name for it. I forget it right now.
Okay, no problem. But you see, this is stuff that you got to watch for because it's going to be one of the things that trips you up. It's going to be one of the things that continues to stress you out, to make you tired. I really, really have to thank Kat Carroll so much for your input this week. You were just fantastic. My friend Susan, excellent. And Nikki Karras is really, she's she's really got a lot of information out there. And this has all been really interesting to, it's like there's days I don't want to deal with it, but I can't not really, it's like, how do you ignore the biggest innings in your life? Because these are the biggest innings in your life right now. And sadly, several months ago, those were the good old days. And because now all of us, I said this a couple of weeks ago, this is the first time in my entire life I've been uncertain about my future. I've always been able to make plans with some sort of familiarity in place. I'll be in a different place and it'll be a different time, but things will basically kind of be the same. And I hope for that predictability again, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing people getting more and more divided, and I'm seeing more and more stress. And man, my heart just goes out to you, man. And people just freaking out. Well, you had that guy freak out on you at the grocery store the other day.
Oh yeah, the public's Nazi.
The Publix Nazi. That's our local grocery store. It's called Publix.
Yeah, it was pretty bizarre. Guys wearing a mask, and
He had gloves on too, right?
I don't remember seeing the gloves.
Okay.
But what he did was, this is the first time I've been in Publix for like 2 months, right?
Right.
So it's very strange to me because I'm walking in and half the people are wearing masks, half the people aren't.
Right.
And I go walking in the store and I grab the cart and I start pushing it down the aisle and I'm ready to, take a right. So I'm hanging into the curve on the right,
Sure.
like any good American driver would do.
Sure, drifting.
And this guy steps over and he stands in front of me and he won't move. And he says, "You're going down the wrong way." I was like,
What?
Yeah, exactly. So I let my Zen kick in, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but it didn't it didn't stop me from saying it. Customer needs help with douchebags on aisle 7.
There's a spill in the douchebag aisle. But that's that like Stockholm syndrome laying out there a little bit. He feels captive. Okay? He has a feeling of being captive. Oh, don't call me during the show, whoever you are. He has a feeling of being captive, and yet because he's keeping the traffic lanes at the grocery store free and clear to the suggested patterns, he's beat like Mr. Publix is going to come by and give him an extra cookie.
And I didn't have the heart to tell him that the mask doesn't block germs.
Yeah. There's so many debates about the mask. I keep one in my truck in case there's elderly people. Okay, that's I keep one, but I don't hardly ever wear it unless I'm going to speak directly to elderly people.
Yes.
And that's just I don't like scaring people. I don't even like Halloween, but the classic dichotomy here is if the masks work, then why are all these businesses closed? Why don't everybody just wear a mask?
Right.
Okay, but if the masks don't work, then what's the difference? What's the big drag here? Either they work or they don't work. And I know that there's micrometer sizing, whether the size of the germ can get in or out or whatever. But I also know that there's some people have respiratory problems with those masks, and constantly breathing back in the CO2 that you just exhaled.
Yeah.
It'll make you a little lightheaded.
Yeah.
I have better ways to get lightheaded.
Yeah, they're lightheaded. They're already lightheaded.
I'm not going to bust anybody's chops, but the thing I posted it last week was people riding around by themselves in their car with their mask on.
Yeah.
Now, whether they're just trying to spare the movement of going to their face with their hands but
it's like putting a rubber on your penis and driving around.
just in case. Just in case you fly through the air and land on a girl with her legs open.
There you go.
So
it makes you feel better.
So much. That was the old comic stock line too. I always wear a condom. In fact, I have one on right now. But see, these kind of things, okay, this little mask, not mask thing, I mean, I'm Switzerland on it. You want to wear a mask? Knock yourself out. I'm not going to wear one. So if you don't like guys that don't wear one, keep your 6 feet, and chances are I won't slobber on you. But you got to remember now, this is the same psychology this Edward Bernays has been bringing. And Edward Bernays was one of the guys that helped get fluoride into our water. And
why? Because it was too expensive to dump anywhere else.
Yes, it's a byproduct of aluminum. And they did put it in the water at the German concentration camps to make the population more docile. I've read that several times. I'm not a chemist. I'm just repeating it. If it's not true, it's a heavy metal, and you're not supposed to have that many heavy metals in your body.
Yeah, but they had such wonderful teeth.
It's done nothing for your teeth. That's and also they use fluoride in rat poison. Um, so, and our friend Matt Anthony, who is the water guy over there in Pinellas, he says that Pinellas County water, Pinellas County, Florida, has very low fluoride levels.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of radium in it now.
Yeah.
Right? Atomic, trigger plant.
So, all these factors. Oh, and the other thing that fluoride does is it dulls your pineal gland. And for those of you who don't know what your pineal gland or what it does, let's just call it your imagination button. And it gets calcified over the years with bad food, fluoride, and you can decalcify your pineal gland through diet, water intake. That's why I love coming out here to Area 52. The best water. Mike has the best water. I bring gallon jugs with me and bring water back to my house because it's better than anything you can buy in the store. It's real water. What was that study that all the people that lived to 90 years old
And the one thing that all 90-year-old people had statistically had in common, all the people, if you get to 90 years old, among nonagenarians, the unifying character of all the nonagenarians was the fact that none of them were using city water and all of them had been on well water for the main part of their lives.
Wow. See? There's a lot of stuff in the water that you need. So don't filter out your water. Distilled water is almost
useless. Where we came from.
I know. Sure. Yeah. All the elements of us are in here. So the fact that this is happening again, there's just new phases of it. There's new chapters being written. Thank you. The beautiful Pamela has been helping me out a lot with this too. She's interested to go down to Costa Rica, and as I started reading, my aisles of study crossed over. Guatemala. Okay, the whole that was another fake governmental maneuver because the United Fruit Company used to own most of Guatemala. Okay. And they petitioned the United States, and Edward Bernays was in this loop of people, because the government was taking back some of the land from United Fruit and giving it to people so they could build homes and this and that and the other thing.
Or grow their own bananas.
And grow their own bananas. Okay? So, the powers that be, who run the banana plant, said, no, we're not going to do that. And they actually concocted the ruler down there, his name was R. Benz. But Bernays concocted the Middle American Information Bureau. Mm-hmm. The Middle American Information Bureau. And of course, they threw shade on that whole operation down there, started calling it a commie plot. It's only a few hundred miles away from an American border. So they threw this communist tone over this whole country, and it was just like...
That's the playbook for South America.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least this time they could tell them, yes, you have no bananas. You have no bananas today. You must buy them from us.
So anyway, all that got turned around same way. But the one thing about bananas, though, I got to tell you, that bananas are one of the things that just makes me believe in God. They really are. They're just the most wonderful thing.
Well, they are, especially if you eat the genetically modified ones.
No!
Because the natural ones are like about half the size of the pen. I got them in the back. They're really sweet and they're really small.
Right.
But yeah, it's genetic engineering. They got the chiquitas.
The big hand of banana.
Yeah, that's what's killing the environment there in Guatemala too. It's bleaching the soil. So it's not.
But completely believable. Completely believable. And just to show you, now this, you go, oh, well, that's old news, Angelwolf. You're talking about this Edward Bernays and, you know, all this kind of action. That kind of stuff doesn't go on anymore. I don't know if you remember this. In 2007, FEMA, they had the bad wildfires out in California. And they actually, and FEMA didn't have any answers for anybody, okay? They weren't doing a good job. They were really dropping the ball. Homes were being destroyed. People's lives were being destroyed. And the government was failing us miserably. But what they did, the executives at FEMA or those in charge, I don't know, they set up a fake news conference. And they only, they put the news out 15 minutes in advance. And they had 6 preset, preloaded reporters in the audience to ask the really softball questions, so they could blow their trumpet and gloss over all of the events that were happening without any hard journalism happening within that thing, because they orchestrated the whole thing from the beginning to the end, and they got caught. And of course the FEMA executives they released apologies and retractions and we're really sorry. But you know what? People don't ever hardly get to the retraction. All they heard was that headline in the beginning. So for them to say, oh, the fires are this and the fires are that, and we're on it. What I'm saying is there's really there's no defining line on the bullshit here. I mean, the bullshit is as deep as you can wade through it. And everywhere you look, I had a friend of mine who moved here from Chile. And as he came here and he learned English, really good guy, and he's a top shelf chef and a really, really good fellow. And we were having a conversation one day, and he tells me, he goes, everything in America is a trick. He goes, you want to go buy a new TV, you see one in the paper, you go to the store, that TV's not available. Only the one that's more expensive. The one you want is already sold out. You see a car on sale in the newspaper, you go in to look for that car's not there. Only the one that's more expensive. And you know, for a guy that moved here from Chile and, you know, where things are a little different there, I mean, they have their touch of it, but America is just so bold with the misinformation. And, you know, I don't know where, you know, I do as best fact checking as I can. I'll lean into the gray area for both sides, okay? Because I'd really, you know, I don't know. I don't know. But I am studying and I am paying attention. But this last entourage, this last barragement that's come at us is probably the most powerful, because the thing that they're talking about and the thing that they're touting and the thing that they're amplifying is your health. And they can get you fearing for your health. And especially if you have children, I of course fear for my son's health. I want him to be healthy every day of his life. And now you've got this menace, this societal killer that's killed 0.003% of the population, lower than regular flu and pneumonia numbers. But where are those numbers? Are those good numbers, or are the other numbers? You know, there were guys printing they were still working on the numbers of the curve. The actual death toll was like 32,000. But the curve said it would be 53,000. So that's the number that they put out. All this manipulation of language and numbers, it's going to make you dizzy. It's going to make you a little nuts. But like we've been saying all along, this is a time to kind of just put that all in one big, messy, hairy tackle box of trouble. You ever know a person has a really messy tackle box? You know,
Yeah, you're looking at them.
You got a messy tackle box? You know, where everything just needs to be sorted out and gone through and cut away and trimmed and sprayed down with WD-40 and all that stuff. So just put that all in one box. And where you need to be, or where I'm trying to get to, and if you want to come along with me, please do. I'm trying to get brave. I'm trying to have courage. I'm trying not to be swayed by the flares that come at us out of the light or out of the internet or however it gets to you. I'm trying not to let that stuff get me down, and just know that the fix has been in so long that this is just another dimension of the fix. I mean, this is a geodesic dome that Buckminster Fuller would be proud of. There are so many angles and facets to this manipulation, you know. And the other thing that they've tamped down quite well is that new nickel's worth of phone service that's trying to come our way, you know, because you get censored if you say the actual initials there. But that Nicholsworth, the new Nicholsworth that's coming,
Cinco de Jerry.
That's, if you notice, that all in that information has died down over the last few weeks. Okay, you're not hearing that every day like you were. And of course, there's huge deniers, of course, because there are literally billions and billions of dollars at stake here. And as you know, from the same people that brought you fluoride in your water and, you know,
we're being experimented on.
Letting women smoke and or encouraging women to smoke, I say.
Everything's an experiment on humanity. It's a shame. They don't really care what the side effects are. They don't care what the fallout is.
Yeah, I really do think it's like Randolph and Mortimer. I really do think it's that way.
Yeah. Well, you know, Bernays is the father of public relations, and the guy is, you know,
read his stuff. It's brilliant.
I have. It's been a while, but the advertising. I mean, that in of itself is such a nice name for mind control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so instead of mind control, they use advertising,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of the CIA with forcible manipulation, they use public relations.
Yes.
You know, it sounds so much more sanitized, and it gets right by us. But, you know, I think I've noticed a change going on. I think Americans are getting fed up. I think the world is getting fed up, and they're losing their fear.
Yes.
And I think that's what's got them going nuts. That's why they've stopped this stuff on Facebook. You can't publish it on YouTube.
Right.
And we're finding ways around it.
Yeah.
You know, and that scares them, because once you realize that you're not stuck in the, in the squawk box yourself, you're free.
Sure. Exactly.
You know? So.
And folks, you know, your immune system did not shut down 9 weeks ago. If you were strong and healthy 9 weeks ago, chances are you still are. So, and that's the other thing, the thing that's, you know, the testing is so far off. And, you know, there's going to be false positives and false negatives and no wonder we are as dizzy and confused as we are. But you know what? There's a creator spirit in each of us. The spirit of life goes through us all. And we are, and this social distancing thing is a huge part of the experiment. They want us apart because together, standing next to each other, we can feel the humanity. But the more space we put between each other, the less of each other's humanity we're going to feel. So this is not a time for that. This is a time for bonding. Even though the narrative says we're in this together, as long as you're 6 feet apart. I don't.
I can just see the Al Qaeda. Sorry, man, you're 6 feet apart.
Yeah, there have been no terrorist threats lately.
Yeah,
either.
amazing how that happens.
Yeah,
you got a new news cycle.
Totally.
It's like
nobody's dying from cancer.
What's going with those guys? And they like sit around in the hovels going, "Oh my God, Abdul, we can't go outside. We might get cold.
We could get a cold. We could get the common cold.
I don't think so."
So, what we're saying, folks, and we're saying it from the bottom of my heart. Mike and I do this show out of love, just to share, and I'm flattered by so many of you that watch every week. Thank you, Mark. Good to see you. You're always my guy. I post something and you like it, and I go, "There's Mark. There's my buddy," and of course there's many others too. So, but don't freak out. Get as healthy as you can through diet, exercise, sunshine. I had some beautiful sunshine last weekend. I was out at the beach and everything was great. And I don't know if you saw that post that I put up about I needed some new sunglasses. And my buddy Rob says, he goes, I go, I'm just going to swing in here and get one of these $5, $10 pairs of sunglasses. He goes, why? Those are your eyes, man. Those are your $1 million eyes. Get you some good glasses. So I stopped at another store and looking at the better glasses, and they're $100, $100 and a quarter. And I'm like, I'm kind of watching my budget right now. I mean, I don't think I'd feel right coughing up $125 for a set of sunglasses. Pair of sunglasses. So I go, you know what? I literally did say this. I go, the universe will get me the perfect pair of glasses. I'll find them somehow. And I just kind of let it go. And I was wearing my old clunkers, my, third stringers. Well, anyway, I'm over in the Atlantic Ocean and walking through the surf with the beautiful people. And we're just talking and going back and forth. And right there, a pair of sunglasses washes up at my feet. I mean, like right there. I pick them up. I said, these are a pair of cheapies. I said, I like cheapies. I'll keep them in the truck or whatever.
If it's free, it's for me.
That's right. I'm all about it. So anyway, we get back to dry land, and I started looking at these things. I was going to bring them in, but
they're too valuable.
They're too valuable to leave her up. I started looking at these things. They're made by Modo, M-O-D-O, and they are titanium frame, shatterproof sunglasses, and they're $315 from some sunglass boutique in New York City.
Well,
and thank you, dude, that lost them. I'm sorry for your hard luck, whoever you are. But I know they're very light.
Yeah.
And like you've seen, like all my life, I've watched guys put their sunglasses up here when they need to take them off. They can put them up here. Yeah. Either I'm getting more Cro-Magnon or they have really light sunglasses, because then they can put it right up here above my brow and then just put them right back down. These are really, really beautiful glasses, and they the tone is fabulous on them, and the universe fulfilled my thing. I just said, okay, let's rock and roll, universe.
The Tao provides.
And the Tao totally provides. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You got anything else you want to close with, Mike?
You can't get any better than the Tao provides.
The Tao, that's pretty much the end of it, isn't it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Be blessed. I know there's going to be some churches opening up soon here in Central Florida. I'm going to go to church one of these Sunday mornings. I'm going to do an old-fashioned, get down on my knees and cry and all that good stuff, man. I love those people, and I love the people that are seeking that level of connection. And
I'm just going to stay at home and be thankful.
You stay home and be thankful. Well, that's your style, and it's a good one. And I practice your style as well. But I do like to go get all shook up every once in a while. Nothing like that power of the Holy Ghost, boy. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the imho.love show. If I didn't mention your name, thank you so much. I was trying to, I had a little cheat sheet with some names on it that I wanted to drop during the show, but I'll get to you next week. Like I said, stay away from the TV, say your prayers, kiss your babies, call your mama, and remember what we say every week.
Take off your friggin' mask. Oh, sorry.
We can't see you.
Wrong show.
We can't, wrong show. Use your head, but trust your gut. And eventually your heart will reveal what's true. So thank you so much. And feel free to like this, share this. If I said something that makes sense to you, let me know. If I said something wrong, send me something I can research and see if I need to be corrected. It's because, like the show says, it's just my humble opinion. But I've been gathering these facts for a long time, and hopefully they're starting to make some sense. So be well, everybody, and thank you so much from Area 52.
Peace, y'all.